What's up, Arizona? You're watching 12 Sports tonight on 12+. I'm Cameron Cox. Back-to-back weeks, we are on the road. Last week, we were at the Sun Bowl. This week, the show is coming to you from the TPC of Scottsdale, where we're getting you set for the WM Phoenix Open, which, believe it or not, is less than a month away. Construction going on behind me. Coming up a little bit later on the show, we'll preview this year's tournament and tell you about all the new upgrades out here on the golf course. But first, it was a massive, busy week for the Cardinals. They fired head coach Jonathan Gannon. We had wall-to-wall coverage all week. We're going to catch up with the rest of the crew here in just a moment. But as always, this is 12 Sports Tonight, Arizona's longest-running sports show, streaming on 12+. We're going to tell you the important stories, the ones that matter, and as always, introduce you to people that inspire. Let's start with some Cardinals coverage. I'm going to be honest with folks out there. I didn't think Michael Bidwell was going to make this move, but the first step admitting you got a problem is admitting there is a problem. And this team has a lot of problems, especially when it comes to winning. If you kind of take a pulse of the fan base, right, this move needed to happen without question, right? The fan support seems kind of at an all-time low right now. And if you go by the numbers, this is a no-brainer. Bottom line, Jonathan Gannon didn't just win enough here as Cardinals head coach, and that's why he's no longer here. Here's video from just moments ago. Gannon got the news this morning after a morning meeting with owner Michael Bidwell and GM Monty Ossenfort. JG then got to address the team one final time, and then, of course, here he is leaving the facility just a little after noon. Players and assistant coaches have been going in and out of the building all morning, some even stopping to sign autographs for fans. JG, by the way, just won 15 games in 3 seasons here with the Cardinals. They just weren't competitive in the division, weren't competitive at times at all. Players, ownership, and the front office spoke in volumes of the great culture JG created in the locker room and in the building, but none of it added up to winning, and that's why he's no longer here. Cardinals, of course, coming off the worst season in team history, 14 losses, a team record, including losing 13 of their last 14 games. Sure, they led the league in injuries, but bottom line, this is a results business, and the results just weren't there.
As you all know, this is a league about wins and losses. The wins and losses speak for themselves, especially this year. We just felt like we were going in the wrong direction and we needed to change course. Of the totality of all the circumstances, the best decision was to move in a different direction with head coach. But I have worked with Monty for 3 years, and I'm very comfortable and confident in his ability to be our general manager.
There's not a guy that I respect more than JG. He and I came in together. What JG did, it's night and day, that group, what that locker room looks like now from then. So I will always respect. I mean, JG is a great man. He's a great coach. So I respect everything that he's done for us to now.
My first reaction to this was the Cardinals are listening to their fan base. Owner Michael Bidwell said it himself. He hears the frustration. He sees the fans' frustration. Heck, he's frustrated himself. Bottom line, this decision was solely based on wins and losses, that if you don't win, according to the owner, you're not going to be here. Check this out. The 12 Sports cameras catching Jonathan Gannon leaving the Cardinals facility just after noon. He got to meet with the team one final time after getting the news. JG fired after 3 seasons, just 15 wins, no playoff appearances. They weren't really competitive this year with all the injuries. Both Bidwell, Ossenfort, and the players thanked Gannon for setting the culture inside the building. They respect the coach. They respect the person. He just didn't win enough. So the coach is out, but the GM is safe. Why the decision to fire JG and keep Monty?
Well, I think when you look at all the wins and losses, we just felt like of the totality of all the circumstances, the best decision was to move in a different direction with head coach. But I have worked with Monty for 3 years, and I'm very comfortable and confident in his ability to be our general manager.
We're all accountable for where we are, and that starts with me. And so I think we all have to look in the mirror and figure out where we have gone wrong, what we can do better. Go back to the end of last year and into the beginning of this year, the totality of the entire direction of the football operation just wasn't going in the right direction. And so injury certainly played a part of that, but we wanted to look at a big picture of where we were as a football team.
Yeah, guys, big picture, this team needed to go in a new direction. So if you're playing along at home, the Cardinals are going for a super hard offseason trifecta. Coach, quarterback, roster. Of course, they got to find a new head coach. And by the way, Giamatti Osifort is going to be leading that search. You got to figure out what to do with Kyler Murray. They would not commit to him being the franchise quarterback moving forward. He's got about $50 million guaranteed still left on that contract in 2 years. And then they got to upgrade this roster that set a team record for losses in a season.
You go back over the last few coaches for the Cardinals, no head coaching experience. And maybe, do you think, I don't know if Mike was asked about this today, Mike Bidwell, maybe this time around you should hire someone with some head coaching experience.
Well, Mark, I would seem to be the way. They need to find somebody with head coaching experience to lead this team because the past couple of candidates just have not worked out that way by any means. Steve Wilkes, first-time head coach, fired after one season. Cliff Kingsbury, fired after 4 years, no head coaching experience before he took the job. Now Jonathan Gannon, fired after 3 seasons, no head coaching experience before he took this job. Jake Garcia here with me now. Jake, we listened to Monty Osifort and Michael Bidwell talk today. They talked for about 20 minutes after the firing of Jonathan Gannon. Your biggest takeaway was what?
That this was a really difficult decision for them to make. And I think a lot of people went into the day not expecting Jonathan Gannon to be fired. Instead, we thought we were going to hear from Jonathan Gannon at 2 o'clock today, talking about how he promises how next season was going to be different. Next season is going to be different, and that's because Gannon isn't going to be leading this team. I think the mood today kind of depends on who you ask. The fans are happy about this decision to move on from Gannon. The players seem to support Gannon despite the record this year. And Bidwell and Osifort seem to be really grappling with this decision. They started the press conference today by just heaping praise on Gannon, effusively, saying that he was a great man and a great leader. And yet, here we are, the Cardinals looking for a new head coach.
Yeah, definitely. The biggest thing that I took away from them speaking was, one, I think Michael Bidwell listened to his fans. I think he's heard their frustration. Heck, he's frustrated himself in all of this, and the team is just not winning. And that's been the biggest complaint, despite the culture being set here, which a lot of players have talked to me about. It didn't matter what happened. This team could not win. They did not win, and they're just coming off the worst season in franchise history. And I give Michael Bidwell some kudos there for recognizing that this team was going in a wrong direction. He mentioned they were going in a wrong direction and then making the move to fire Jonathan Gannon. It feels like we've been here all day. We watched the sunrise here this morning at the facility. Now the sun is setting. So, Jake, now moving forward in the next season, we got about a minute left. Who's the next head coach?
I don't know, but I mean,
they don't know either.
I like the idea that it's someone with NFL head coaching experience, at the minimum, experience leading a system in the NFL. Whether it's a Kubiak for the Seahawks, what he's done with their offense, or a Flores with the Vikings and what he's done with their defense, but someone who has shown that he can interact with NFL players and he can get the most out of them. I don't think the college route is the way to go.
So no Kenny Dillingham.
I'm gonna throw water on the Kenny Dillingham hype. I don't know if there's any out there.
There's not, but you never know.
Yeah, I think the Cardinals need someone maybe like a Jordan Ott, who is just a mastermind at one specific thing, and that has to do with scheme. It has to do with putting your players in a right position to get the most out of them. That involves player development as well. I think today was really a doubling down on the fact that the Cardinals think they have the right guys in the locker room. They think they've drafted well. They think they've done well in free agency. They just don't think they've gotten enough out of them on the field.
Yeah, they definitely need someone who could develop some players. I like a guy like a Mike McCarthy, a Brian Flores, who have some experience in the NFL.
They're missing so many players due to injury. Kyler's not there. They don't have the running back. They don't have their star receiver. So, I guess it's the not fair league, and that's part of what happened.
Mark, that's why many people around the NFL thought Jonathan Gannon's job was safe this year, that the Cardinals led the league in injuries, and he was going to get a chance to kind of redo this next year and maybe pick his own quarterback, but that's not the case. And it sounds like owner Michael Bidwell kind of woke up in a sense. He said today, a direct quote, "We are going in the wrong direction." He also said that the reason to fire head coach Jonathan Gannon was solely based on wins and losses, and JG did not win enough. Gannon gone after 3 seasons, just 15 total wins, no playoff appearances. At times, they were not competitive, especially in the division. So why fire the coach and not the GM? Remember, the Cardinals had all those injuries, and there's a number of holes on this roster they'll need to address in the offseason. Well, Bidwell says he likes the roster Giamatti Osifort has put together in 3 years, but the wins haven't necessarily matched the talent.
I take a lot of accountability in where we're at right now. I mean, it's we're all involved in it, and I'm not going to run from that. That goes with the territory, and so I have to do a better job of that. And I'm going to. I'm completely focused on starting this search, and there's a lot of things that we have to get moving in the right direction, and that process starts today. And so we have to get going in the right direction to get us back on the winning side of things, get our fans back fired up about what we're doing, what we're putting on the field. And, Michael, myself, and the rest of the organization is focused on doing that.
In other words, they feel like they have the talent. They just got to figure out a way to develop that talent better moving forward. Getting the fans back supporting this team is going to be a big thing this offseason. They're going to need to win many fans back, and Monty Osafort's going to lead the charge in finding a new head coach. As far as when this is going to happen, there is no timeline for that yet. The last time the Cardinals did this was 3 years ago, and they didn't hire a head coach till after the Super Bowl. It's kind of a bit of an emotional day out here for really everybody inside this building because Jonathan Gannon is very much well-liked by everybody in the building. When talking with owner Michael Bidwell, he was holding back tears when announcing the decision to fire JG. And if you ask GM Monty Osifort, there's very few people in football he respects more than Gannon. Remember, the two of those guys came in together at the same time. But bottom line, this comes down to wins and losses. And when you look at the 3 years here for JG, the wins just weren't there. The success wasn't there. And this team just needed to go in a different direction. The 12-sports cameras catching Gannon, leaving the facility around noon. Before that, he got to meet with the team one final time. Players and assistant coaches also going in and out of the building, some stopping to sign autographs for fans. The news somewhat shocking to those in the locker room. Like the players, they've raved about the culture JG has set in the locker room, and they believe this awful season wasn't to blame on the coaches.
Yeah, absolutely. JG's a wonderful coach and does everything, gets us prepared the right way, and I think he deserves obviously a chance. I loved him as a head coach, so. Yeah,
he's a great guy. Like, from my combine visit when we first met to now, he's the exact same person. He's always holding everyone accountable. He's always doing the right things. It's just the players, and that's why I say we as players and myself take accountability for this and just learn and keep going,
I love the man he is as a coach and as a leader, and I believe he brings the most out of the guys here. Again, I feel like the reason why guys will continue to fight to make plays, whether it's late in the game when we're down, is because we have a guy like him that's for the players, he's for the team, and he's never hanging his head. He's not complaining. He's trying to scratch and claw to get a win, to pull the most out the guys, which I know we all appreciate from him.
Yeah, they definitely appreciate the man and the coach that JG is. So what's next? What are the Cardinals looking for their next head coach? They want a great leader and a better fit. No word yet if they're leading offense or defense. GM Monty Osifort is going to lead the search. No timeline yet, too, as well. The last time the Cardinals did this 3 years ago, they waited till after the Super Bowl to make a hire. And here is my way too early wish list. Just some names, some popular names that are circulating among NFL teams right now with openings. You got former Packers and Cowboys head coach Mike McCarthy. You got Vikings defensive coordinator Brian Flores. He's a popular name. Remember, he interviewed for the Cardinals the last go-around. People tell me they really liked him. Recently fired Browns head coach Kevin Stefanski, a two-time coach of the year. Many believe 49ers DC Robert Saleh deserves another chance to lead a team. And if you're looking for a fresh name, how about Seahawks OC Clint Kubiak? The Kubiak name, very well known in the NFL. And, of course, the Seahawks just had a great year, too, as well. Again, no timeline for when the Cardinals are going to hire a new head coach. But now moving forward, someone else leading the team out here for the Cardinals. Guys, back to you.
Do you like any of those names on the list, MC?
I like Mike McCarthy a lot. The only thing that I hope, because the last three coaches have been coordinators or assistant coaches, none of them had head coaching experience.
Right. Okay.
So the one thing that I, as a fan, would like to see is for them to go out and hire a head coach with NFL head coaching experience. The owner, Mike Bidwell, I really focused in on some video you showed earlier, and it shows Mike Bidwell at the game yesterday in L.A., going across the field and hugging Jonathan Gannon. Not exactly the actions of an owner who's ready to fire his coach.
Mark, I didn't think so either. Fans on social media were comparing it to The Godfather in kind of a sense here. But the decision to fire Jonathan Gannon was pretty simple. He did not win enough games. We've all heard the stat all day. Just 15 in 3 years, not competitive in the division. Of course, we all know they set the franchise record for losses in a season this past year. But owner Michael Bidwell sending a very clear message to fans. This won't fly around here moving forward. It is somewhat of a surprising move, as kind of Mark just said. Last week, Jonathan Gannon was fully expected to be the Cardinals head coach moving forward, pretty confident he was going to keep his job. And then that was that embrace in that Sunday, yesterday, I should say, in the season finale. But after meeting with GM Monty Ossenfort, the duo deciding, despite all the injuries this year, remember they led the league in injuries, the team was not getting any better under Gannon, and the numbers, boy, did they back that up. The clock now ticking for them to fix this.
I know our fans are frustrated. I am more frustrated. I know Monty is more frustrated. This is something, and so is JG. Every one of those coaches and players. We all expected more. When I look at it, some of the changes that were made with other teams just a year or 2 years ago, those teams with new coaches from a year or two ago are now in the playoffs playing this weekend. I know we can turn it around, and I'm looking forward to getting going with this search because it's going to be a great opportunity for us to be that next story where we flip it around.
None of this matters if they don't hire the right guy as the next coach.
Jonathan Gannon fully expected his job to be safe. He told us that as early as last week, too, as well, and even going into the final game of the regular season. I think JG thought his job was safe, but clearly Michael Bidwell has heard fans' frustration. I think he listened to people out there and finally getting this team going in a new direction. Bottom line, they just haven't won enough games here in recent years. And Mark, you're right. None of this matters unless they find the next coach. So what does that look like? What is this team going to look like moving forward? Jake Garcia has more.
The Cardinals say there are multiple reasons why their season went off the rails, but today there's only one person lying down on the tracks. Head coach Jonathan Gannon is out. General manager Monty Ossenfort stays. Owner Michael Bidwell says that was a decision that gives the Cardinals the best direction. As Jonathan Gannon hits the road, he'll need to update the work address in his car's GPS. The Cardinals wanted new navigation.
This morning we spoke with Jonathan Gannon and let him know that we were going to go in a different direction with our head coach.
They say the captain was leading them astray.
We were going in the wrong direction, and we needed to change course.
It just wasn't going in the right direction.
After sleeping on it, we decided this was the best direction to go.
Michael Bidwell and Monty Ossenfort had their talking points headed in the same direction. They want a destination that ends in the playoffs.
This is a league about wins and losses. The wins and losses speak for themselves. We've won one game since week 2 of the NFL season, and it just felt like it had gotten too far.
Ossenfort felt the Cardinals' collapse was a blindside hit.
None of us expected to be here today. We didn't.
He still thinks the team's talent is in a decent place.
Certainly flipped what this roster looked like 3 years ago. I believe that we have a talented group of young players.
Bidwell believes other coaching changes can be a blueprint, a roadmap.
Those teams with new coaches from a year or two ago are now in the playoffs playing this weekend. I know we can turn it around.
They both now have an off-season directive. Find someone who can give directions.
We're not going into this saying we want an offensive coach or we want a defensive coach. We want the best head coach and the best fit for us.
Find a coach who can direct the Cardinals to a better path.
We have to get going in the right direction to get us back on the winning side of things, get our fans back fired up about what we're doing, what we're putting on the field.
In Tempe, Jake Garcia, 12 Sports.
So the first order of business this offseason, find a coach. Second, figure out what to do with Kyler Murray. He's got 2 years and around $50 million left on his contract. Murray missed most of the season with a foot injury. Remember, coming into year 7, all the talk was Murray is this team's franchise quarterback. Now that talk has changed.
When you have a season like this, I think all options are on the table. And so things didn't work out. Kyler was injured this year. Jacoby stepped in and played well. And we'll see what that leads to. We'll see what that leads into the offseason as we construct the 2026 team. But those discussions are for another day, not the day after the season has ended.
There we go. And we're finally hearing from Kyler Murray for the first time since he went out with that foot injury on social media, posting about Gannon's firing, saying, "My guy, genuinely loved going to war with you, appreciate who you are as a man and as a coach." And guys, many of the same players in the locker room kind of said the same things. They appreciate Jonathan Gannon. They respect him. But bottom line, GM and ownership feels like they just did not win enough games. The numbers back that up.
What in the world did he say?
It's got my blood boiling, guys. I just,
you know what?
I just can't.
Kevin
believe.
Durant has to just get over it.
He's got to get over it, Mark.
He took games off when he played here. He couldn't stay healthy, And for him to question why he's no longer with this team is ridiculous.
Mark, it's crazy. Listen, we all know they traded away Kevin Durant. They got back Jalen Green, who's been hurt for the Suns, but he'll be a prominent scorer whenever he's returned. Dylan Brooks, who's been one of the best stories in the league this year. The Suns are better. They're more fun to watch. They needed to move on.
And they play harder.
They needed to move on from Bradley Beal and Kevin Durant.
Yes.
And it's just something that needed to happen. He wasn't the only problem here, but he was part of the problem why the Suns were not good
100%.
when he was here and his non-effect on winning at times. Here we go. This was the game last night. Kevin Durant stuck into his old team and then trashed them afterwards. Late in the fourth at Houston, tied at 97. Book trying to hit game winners on back-to-back nights. Can't get it to fall. Okay, so the Rockets get a final shot here. 5 seconds. KD. Look at that. Buries the three. We'll get another look at this. Not bad defense there, but he makes those shots. He was fired up. You just kind of knew it, right? And here we go. Book, one last chance. Former Sun Josh Okogie with some great defense there. Suns lose 197 after the game. And I had to check multiple times that this was real. KD said something I couldn't believe.
It feels good to play against a team that booted you out the building and scapegoated you for all the problems that they had. And it hurt because I put all my effort and love and care towards the Suns and the Phoenix area and Arizona in general. But that's just the business. That's the name of the game. And, so when you play against a team, yeah, you got a chip on your shoulder. You don't want it to get too big, have too big of a chip and it gets in the way of the game with my teammates. But in the back of my mind, it's there. It's nothing but love for the players. But I want to beat that team. I want to show them that I still got some juice in the tank, even though I'm old. I still can play. Yeah, I feel like every player has that mentality playing against their former team. I don't think it's malicious in any way towards them, but just as a competitor, you want to go out there and beat them. And then to beat them on a game-winning shot like that, yeah. But by the time I get home tonight, I probably won't even remember it. I will remember, but I'll try my best to forget about it and move on to the next game.
Booted and was a scapegoat.
Let me ask you a question. Do you ever remember KD in his time with the Suns hitting that shot, hitting the game winner?
Mark, nothing really comes to mind like that. Not a moment like that that really stands out.
I don't either.
I'm sure there were, but it just goes to show you how forgettable his time here in the Valley was. Listen, he says he put his heart, soul, energy into that. I question a lot of that. They brought him in to be Batman, and he wanted Robin responsibilities, if that by any means. You know what I mean? It was a complete disappointment with him being here in the Valley. Now, there were a lot of other factors, too, as well. They clearly got the coaching wrong at times. Some of the roster around him wasn't great. Bradley Beal was never healthy either, too, as well. So it's not all on KD's shoulders, but it kind of was on his shoulders. They brought him in to be the guy, and he wasn't the guy. And as his time in Phoenix went on, his impact on winning just wasn't the same. It wasn't whatever. It wasn't what they thought it was going to be. And that's why they had to move on. And that's why just the eye test alone, when you watch games this year compared to last year, it is a night and day difference on how hard they play, the effort they did, the care level that I guess he talks about. It's night and day watching this team and compared to last year with Kevin Durant on this roster. He had to go.
If he really feels that way,
there was no scapegoat.
There was no scapegoat.
And it's sad that he can't take some responsibilities with some of his shortcomings and mistakes that were here at the Valley, because there were some on him too as well.
Did his teammates say anything after that? I'm just wondering if how they felt about it.
I didn't hear anything from the
Suns. Or
Suns
his old teammates.
His old teammates.
Yeah, his old ones.
No, the Suns were not asked about that postgame. Hey guys, it's always a tough work assignment when you get to be out on the golf course for the day. We're out at the TPC of Scottsdale getting you set for the WM Phoenix Open. Hard to believe we're less than a month away from all the action out here. And joining me right now is tournament chair Jason Eisenberg. Jason, what's the vibe like? It's media day. The clock is ticking now. Tournament's almost here.
It feels really real. I mean, right now the energy is about a 9 out of 10. About a week it'll be a 10 out of 10. So it feels great out here right now.
We know you build like a mini city out here. So where are we at construction-wise? This thing almost built?
We're 85% there. Like 16 looks really good. Bay Club looks really good. Cove looks really good. There's some tweaks we need to make here or there, but we'll get there by tournament time.
Fans coming out this year, what can they expect? What's new? What should they be excited about?
The most exciting part right now is the new structure on 16. That's something we spent a lot of time time on it. Looks amazing. Brand new structure, higher ceilings, better view corridors, better food and beverage. The whole thing will be revamped.
And then there's a new club, too, on 16 as well, right?
For the first time ever, 16 will be 4 stories on golfers left by the green. It's called the Pin High Club. It's the best view, the best food, the best of everything on 16.
Yeah, so obviously everybody loves 16, but what else around the course is kind of upgraded for fans this year?
New pathways, obviously. We're always working on getting pedestrians around the course as quickly as we can. And the Family Care Center is our newest venue for families. So we don't want to have anybody to have any reason not to show up to the Open. So Family Care Center will be for elderly. It'll be for people with families. You can go in there. It's sponsored by Mayo and Phoenix Children's Hospital. So go in there, get off your feet, let your kids run around, enjoy some downtime. It should be great.
When did that come about? That's kind of neat, right? Because it could be a long day out here for people who bring their kids, and the kids can get a little restless at times, right?
Look, I got 3 kids, right? So, like, I fully know. I get it. So, we want to make sure everybody can come enjoy it. We want little kids. We want the elderly. We want everybody to come out and have fun at the Open.
Let's talk about the field. Any big names you want to tell fans that are coming this year?
Yeah, we just found out last night that Scotty Scheffler has committed, so the #1 golfer in the world will be here. So we're incredibly excited about that.
I know that's the first time you said it. How does that feel to get the #1 player in the world?
It feels great, man. I mean, I think if you look at our commits, we have 19 of the top 50 already. So the field's shaping up to be an unbelievable field.
How about the Phoenix Open, the Pro-Am too as well? Any names coming out yet? Or are we still waiting on that?
Give me a week. I'll give you the names in about a week. We have some great names that are committing, but the official list will go out in about a week.
What spin are you putting on this? And what can people expect from this year's version of your tournament from you?
You know, Matt Mooney said better, not bigger. We're going to take that and we're going to make it just a little bigger, though. So I mean, 16 will be a little bigger. Digital tickets will allow us to be a little bigger. We're gonna turn the volume up on the event a little bit if we can.
Any message you'd like to tell the viewers at home about the Phoenix Open this year?
Come hang out. It's going to be the best party. It's the greenest and greatest show on grass. We'd love to have you. So come see us.
Jason Eisenberg, the tournament chair, always bigger and better every year. They got improvements to 16. The #1 player of the world is coming here, and it all gets going, guys, in a little less than a month out here at the TPC of Scottsdale. Guys, back to you. All right, that'll do it for us. Thank you so much for watching 12 Sports tonight on 12+. Don't forget, we'll see you back here Sunday night for, of course, 12 Sports Locker Room and 12 Sports Tonight right after Sunday Night Football right here on 12. I'm Cameron Cox. Good night. God bless.